Hey, welcome to Stereo-Atypical. I am one of your hosts, Alyssa, and this is
Michelle.
And we are a podcast that talks about everything typical and atypical. Right in the name. Now that also just for everyone wondering why I'm looking down, it's because I have notes. Just like Michelle had notes last time, I have notes this time. But right. Professional.
Oh, yeah.
But now that the intro episode is done, we are going to go over different topics each episode. And with your help, you can decide on the topic. So there's a Q&A at the end of each episode that we post, and then you can type in what you want us to talk about. But this time, we chose a topic already. So today's topic hits close to home, and I'm sure everyone saw because of the title of the episode, but we are going to be talking about something called trichotillomania, and that is a hair pulling disorder. This disorder, you can pull out your eyebrows, you can pull out your eyelashes, your body hair, your hair on your head, which is where I pull. It can literally be anywhere you have hair, you can pull. I was fortunate enough to only get it in one spot. Some people have their hair, eyebrows, body, everything. Like, they do it all. I do not. It's just my head. The only downside is I've had it for 10 years. I was diagnosed by myself when I was 14, and it stemmed from what I believe it stemmed from was test anxiety. So I was not a good tester, and it made me anxious. And so one day I was laying in bed and I was like, and I hated my hair, by the way. Like, this is a big thing that keep in mind. I hated my hair. So I was just like fiddling, la 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 la, as you do. And I was like, what if I just twist? And I was like, whoa, what was that feeling? And it feels like euphoria. Like, the first time around was cathartic. It was incredible. And which is kind of awful to say, but it's true. It was. And the reason it is because there's something that happens in your brain when you do it. And it's like when you eat chocolate and those endorphins are released in your head and you're like, wow, this chocolate was so good, I want another bite. It's the same kind of deal. It's, wow, that felt so good, I want to do that again. And so that's when it started. And I figured it out about a month later because I was like, wow, I'm still doing this. I thought this was just like a phase. It wasn't a phase. So I did a lot of research on it and found out that's what I had. So, yeah.
I can't wait to talk to you about that more. But first, before we get into that, do you want to do a quick touch-up? How have you been?
I've been good. Kind of interesting work day, let me tell you. Very interesting day.
Do you want to talk about that?
I do. I feel inclined. If my bosses hear this. Hi. I'm nervous. I'm sweaty. So their child, we're going to call her Bob. Her name is Bob. Okay. Now, Bob all of a sudden has gotten into this Alyssa phase. And for the past 2 days, no, I want Alyssa to do it. No, I want Alyssa. I want Alyssa. And I'm like, you want mommy. Go get mommy. Go. Well, today she got to spend half of the day with me and her brother, Steven. Okay, so Bob and Steven. And Bob looked at me from across the living room and goes, Alyssa, I want you to be my mommy. And I went, I can't do that. And Bob says, why? Bob is 5. Bob is 5, okay? But yeah, why? And I said, I didn't give birth to you.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob goes, what's that?
Oh no.
So I'm like, all right, said, Bob, you remember when Steven was in your mommy's belly? And Bob goes, yeah. That's what giving birth is. You weren't in my belly, so I can't be your mommy. Well, I want two mommies. Well, now I don't have a good reason to tell you why I can't be your mommy. When you're like, well, that's okay, I can have two. So, that was my day. How was your day? How you been?
Wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
My day was pretty good. I just did a lot of stuff at home, and some errands in a way, but like, I don't know. I refused to leave my house and I just did them online. So, yeah, just a lot of housework. But yeah, it was good. Anything new throughout the week, though? Or anything
Nothing.
that you want to talk about, I should say?
Nothing new. That I can think of. They canceled my eyebrow appointment. So I made an appointment on Saturday because my boyfriend comes back into town on Saturday. Now, my boyfriend does this thing. Oh no, he's gonna listen to this and be like, why'd you do this? He does this thing where he calls my lip hair Chloe. So to spite, I was trying to get it waxed off on Saturday. But they canceled my appointment and they called me at work today. And they were like, hey, yeah, it turns out the stylist isn't going to come in on Saturday. And I was like, okay. So I called them back and I said, let me reschedule. And they were like, okay. And I said, well, what other times on Saturday do you have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no stylist will be here on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean no stylist will be here on Saturday? Saturday is a busy day because people are off work.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, what you got Thursday, Friday? We have 12 and 2.
Yeah.
I work 8 to 6. You want me to pull up with the baby? Like, okay, wax my face. Shit, it's okay. It's okay, Steven.
Win-win.
So
you stuck with Chloe for another week?
No. I'm gonna get wax strips.
Oh, no.
It's going.
What's really funny about all of this is my cat is named Chloe. So every time that she references Chloe as in her facial hair, all I can think of is my cat. So she's trying to get rid of my cat, guys.
Bye, Chloe.
Oh no. She loves you too.
I do love Chloe. I love the cat, not the lip. Okay. And now, okay, also, like, I should context the lip. I'm Polish. Polish women have body hair everywhere. I mean, like, for video viewers, my arm is super hairy. This is like a natural Polish arm for you. Like, Polish people just have dark body hair, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. And I'm not embarrassed. I have Chloe. Okay, I love her. Okay, she's cute.
Yeah.
But it's really just to spite him, and now it's like a game that we play. Like, am I gonna get rid of Chloe today, or is he gonna see in a little bit? Like, sometimes I'll, like, shave it with my facial razor, but you know how sometimes they just don't pick everything up? So, like, the other day I was like, no, I shaved her away. She's gone. He went, no, she's still here. I was like,
oh, man. Yikes.
So,
well,
it's a little game we have.
Yeah, good luck with the wax strips. Oh, man.
She's going, guys.
Yeah.
I'll post it on TikTok.
I'm confident in you.
Thank you. Bye, Chloe.
It's awesome. Okay, well, do you want to get right into it?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, dokie. So, let's see. We're gonna hit on some controversial topic here about trichotillomania. There's a lot of controversy here. I don't even need my notes anymore, girl. I'm ready. So here's the one thing, and I was talking to Michelle about this earlier, and it is the one thing I specifically hate the most, and it's other people.
Oh no.
But I don't hate people. But when people come up to me, because I tell them I have trich, and they go, "Well, you can just stop." Oh, I can? That's great. I'm so excited. I would love to have long hair. And then they go, "Yeah, you just have to go to therapy." Wow. No way, Jose. You
Now we
mean
thought
more
of that.
therapy? You mean more therapy. Because I've done that. So I've done something called regular therapy, and then I've done something called cognitive behavioral therapy. And what this was, there's a guy, he came in and was like putting this thing on my head. It was like think of like a swimming cap, and it has holes in it all over the head. And they stick these things on your head and like they jam it in on your head, and it kind of hurts because they're marking your specific noggin. And then every time you come in, that cap is ready for you to use. So once they did that, they connect with those things, little like electrodes, little things onto my head. So I look crazy because I have wires sprouting out. I look like a potted plant. Like this, they're doing this kind of deal. Okay, for video viewers, I'm sprouting right now, or for audio listeners, I'm sprouting out of my head. So that is what that like looks like. So these wires are attached to a computer, and this computer is hooked up to a TV. Now, my brain is inflicted with lovely anxiety. Is beautiful. I love wearing her. And the brain scan on the computer shows your brain, and it shows whatever colors. But for me, it shows red because in certain areas of my noggin where the anxiety lives, it's red because it means it's overactive. It's too active, and that's what they believe to be the cause of my trich. So, to get my brain to learn that it needs to calm down, I got to pick a favorite episode or a favorite show of whatever. I picked I Love Lucy, and we'd watch a couple episodes of that. Now, the thing with this, you're like, where are these electrodes coming in, Alyssa? They would come in to play immediately. So the show would start, and if my brain in those areas was too active, it stops. And it just does not play anymore. Your goal is to get through a whole episode in a session. I think I got through 3/4 of an episode before we stopped cognitive behavioral therapy, because it's very hard, because you don't really know how to calm your brain down like that. Like certain area, how are you supposed to calm a certain area of your brain? So your brain is learning that it needs to just calm down. And I'm over here, I'm doing like the most breathing. I'm like, I just want to watch this episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to breathe, but you can't really do anything to calm that down. So I did that kind of therapy. I did regular therapy where they told me to sit on my hands. It was very helpful. And then sometimes they're like, here's a stress toy. I'm not stressed though. Mm-hmm. Like this is not the same action. The squeezing is not the same action. And even pulling something, because they would give you toys with little like hairy sprouty thingies, and you pull on those. Well, one, it's rubber. Two, it's not in my head. It doesn't feel the same. So therapy was always a bother to me, and it never worked for me personally. And I'm not saying it doesn't work for other people, but for me personally, it didn't do anything. And that's okay. I've come a long way. Michelle has seen me when I was at my worst, actually. And it was terrible because I had to like shave my head officially. Like I haven't had my head buzzed like that in ages because the first time when I shaved it, there were bald spots everywhere. And you could just see my scalp. It wasn't hair. Like I have these bald spots, but these I will explain in a minute on both sides. These are what I call my cat ears. Michelle knows about these because I explained these in college. The reason I call it that is because it literally, they literally point. They point like little cat ears, so they're my little cat ears. There was this
They're cute.
tanks. I don't mind them anymore. Ricky Knowles, this guy created wigs, and I actually should have brought out a wig. Well, actually, I still can. You can chat in a minute. He created over 3 wigs for me because when I first started having trichotillomania and having urges and stuff, I was in 8th grade, so I was 14, and I was so embarrassed, and it was so bad, and I pulled so much that the only way to stop it was going to Ricky. Now, what Ricky would do is he would take a wig and we'd lift up my hair like this, and if I had this much, which usually I didn't, and he would put tape on my forehead and all the way around my scalp. And this tape would then have glue applied to this tape. Then your wig would come in that you got personally made, however length you wanted it. If you wanted bangs, I did bangs because I'd never had bangs before because I was super curly headed. So I just didn't work with bangs, but I said straight wig, bangs, because I wanted to have the experience of bangs. And he then puts the glue and tape on the wig, and they press it onto your forehead, and they pull it back over your head and press that down. And this wig gets pressed onto your head, and this becomes your hair. And for a month, these wigs stay on. The glue doesn't fade. Maybe you'll have like an area come up, but it's strong glue. And this stuff stays on for an entire month. And you can wash your hair, you can go swimming, you can go on roller coasters. You can literally do whatever you want, and these wigs stay on your head.
That's awesome.
So they're great. Shout out Ricky. Yeah. If he ever listens to this video, Ricky, you the man. So that was an incredible experience, and no one knew I had trichotillomania unless they asked because it looks so natural. And even like the scalp, they make like the part, you can part your hair in different ways, any kind of way you want, and it's great. And so I did that for a while. Then I grew my hair out officially senior year. I had beautiful curls, and it was long because guess what? I glued my hair for 4 years, so I had hair underneath. Well, there's where your problem lies, people, because if you're not doing anything about the problem, when that wig comes off, the problem comes back. So that's when I lost all my hair again, which stunk because it was beautiful and it was curly and I was confident and happy, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Also, I may like cry during this episode just to let everybody know because it's a very emotional time for me.
And this is a safe place. So
yeah, this is a safe place, and also it's something that's very important to me, and I think a lot of people need to know about it because there's over 400,000 cases of trichotillomania per year, and they're not talked about because everyone is too embarrassed to say anything. Because who wants to go around and say, hey, I pull out my hair on a day-to-day basis? Real sexy of me. No one. No one. Yeah. So, like, and I make jokes about it. You know, if you can't joke about pulling out your hair, who can? Like, my boyfriend is wonderful. He'll make jokes about it, too. He's joked about pulling my hair as well. He's like, I'm going to pull out your hair. I'll be like, I'll beat you to it. And we just joke about it. Like, we literally did that the other day because there's no shame in it, at least in a safe space. But yeah, so that's that. Then after that, I needed another wig in college for a while. I wore one. And this one, Michelle knows how this one works. It was clips. So you clip like a big old clip here, and you'll have a couple clips on the side, and there's like 2 clips right here in the back. And you clip that onto the hair, and then it stays on your head. You can't really do a roller coaster with that one because that one might fly off in the wind, but it clipped on enough you could like go swimming, just not get your hair wet, and it looked natural enough. Um, Most people thought it was real until I told them it was a wig, and they were shocked. So I still have that one. She's in my closet, and I don't do anything with it. I don't like brush it or shampoo it anymore. It's there as a reminder of how far I've come because I've come a long way.
Yes.
So I keep that there. And my boyfriend met me when I was bald, pretty much. Again, I had more hair than bald, but I was short. It was really short. So we've come back from that, and yeah, just like in my personal experience over the course of 10 years here, I've relapsed a bunch, and outside stressors can be a reason you relapse. People can be a reason you relapse, because if like you're going through an abusive situation, which I was when I relapsed, then that can cause all the progress you had to go away, because now you're dealing with something you can't control, and what you can control is how much hair you pull out of your head. So yeah.
I'm so glad that you're out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
That relationship.
I am too. Yeah, that was not fun. And then, the gaslighting too, because like, mind you, I explained trichotillomania to this person. Then he'd be like, "Oh well, I just want to make sure I'm not the one causing you to do it." Okay.
So he was self-aware. At least that's one thing. Didn't do anything about it, but he was self-aware.
Right. We love a self-aware king. Okay. Yeah. Which, like, I actually, like, the talk of trichotillomania hasn't come up much in my relationship, because I don't, he's not the kind of guy, I guess, who cares. It seems like to me. He obviously likes me for who I am, or we wouldn't be together, so it doesn't seem to bother him, and it bothered my ex. Like, if I had, like, a really bad pull day, because, like I said, sometimes you relapse. Sometimes you can hear it, but it's not loud. It's very, like, just, like, very soft, like that. We'd be there, be quiet moment, and he'd go, "I can hear you. I can hear you." Oh, thanks. Thanks, Captain Obvious. I can hear you too. Lame.
My goodness.
Yeah. Rude, for one. For two, that is not how you help people with trichotillomania. What that is called, and it is a professional term used in therapy, because I've gone to therapy, believe it or not, people. It's called policing. And what you're not supposed to do with someone that has trichotillomania is police them. That is one thing therapy helped me with, because my mom and I didn't know how to deal with it together. And my mom is awesome. Like, Michelle knows my mom. She's great. Her. I love her. Exactly. She's, I think, the best mom I could ever have. But she policed me about it. Put your hands away. Put your hands away. Do you need this? And it wasn't helpful. So through therapy together, we learned how to, like, help me out more. So that way it wasn't policing, but it was help.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between help and policing, but the thing is that line when it comes to trichotillomania is very thin. It's
Mm-hmm.
very thin. Because if you go, I can hear you, police it, okay?
Yeah.
But if you turn to someone and go, hey, can I help you? It's not.
Yeah.
But if you say, put your hands down,
Mm-hmm.
it's policing. But if you
It's
just
just
grab my
because,
hand and hold my hand, that's not policing, that's helping.
yeah, because like one, it seems like it's more shameful. Like it makes it more about like shaming the person. Whereas the other one, it's actually like, no, I'm here with you. What can I do?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like around my boyfriend, I haven't had a bad relapse yet or anything. So I'm not even sure if we've even had a talk of what to do if I do get into that stage. But I am hoping it won't happen because there, when I was living with Michelle and when I'm like with my boyfriend now, those are my happy people. Those are the people that endorphins do release in the head, like happy ones,
Aw.
right? And because the pulling is like a need for endorphin, a need for happiness, if I'm around people that make me happy or I'm doing what makes me happy, that urge is not so strong and I can fight it. But if I'm like bored by myself, it's harder to fight. You're not as happy when you're by yourself and bored. It's just, that's just truth. So, like, when I lived with Michelle, specifically when I moved into our bedroom, that is when my pulling was at a like down. Like it wasn't spiraling up into anything crazy. Like my hair grew pretty good in college.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah.
then the next year was not so great. Or the year after that. or the year after that. um,
Sorry.
she left me.
I'm
Actually, she
sorry.
graduated. It's okay. Um, and then yeah, so it really it can depend on people too. Um, and you can talk about what you found earlier online, like what it stems from.
Yeah, well, first, I wasn't sure if I heard you right. Did you say the one that you're with now, the guy that you're with now, he was the one to ask you if he was causing it, or was it the other one?
Mm-mm, the other one.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait a second, did I mishear that? Okay. But yeah, so I did some research and it was really interesting because I just wanted to learn more. I'm not very educated on this matter, but like I just wanted to one know more to be able to support you, but also just it's interesting and it's something that a lot of people go with. And it's not really talked about. But apparently like every case is different. So some people like they're very anxious and that causes it, but sometimes it's the actual reverse where like it's a genetic thing or something else causes it and then anxiety comes from that. And so it's like every single case is different. Very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's very
But
true.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
So, what can people do to help to manage it and treat it? Like, what worked for you?
Having
Obviously the
it.
wigs helped a lot. That
Mm-hmm.
helped. But
yeah.
what?
Having it for 10 years, that'll do the trick. It's having a long time, guys. Um,
Hopefully not for
um,
everyone. But hey, it happens
um,
sometimes.
yeah. Crocheting can help because your hands are busy. So, like, if
Okay.
you're doing like a little crochet project, um, and being like super mindful. There are people who are like, well, I don't know why you just can't stop. Like, just go, oh, I shouldn't do that and stop.
Hmm.
Okay, sure. But it's a little more complicated than that. Because what's
Yeah.
going on, at least for me, and I'm sure other people have the same experience, you get a tingly sensation. See, now I'm thinking about pulling, right? Because I'm like, what is the experience that I think? I'm getting a tingly here. Back here is itchy. And then I have one on the side of my head over here. And if I'm not being mindful, it's an immediate just boom, boom, just to get rid of that tingle, to get rid of that itch. And your first thought is not to scratch your head, because it's different from an itch like, ooh, my head is itchy. You know, it's more like a little pulse, a little shock that goes, you need to pull, you need to get that, because it's just, and it bothers you. So being mindful of what kind of feeling happens for you is super helpful, because once you're mindful of your like triggers, like what feels weird on your head, it's a little easier to control. And like not zoning out. I know if I zone out and like I'm bored out of my mind at work and I zone out, and it can just easy, because it's something to do. So always having something to do will keep you busy. And if you're an embarrassed lady or man like me, being around people, believe it or not, will stop you from doing it, because you don't want to pull around people. That is embarrassing. I've pulled around my boyfriend. I can tell you that right now, because it is natural and it's an occurrence in my life, but he has not been there. He's either been out of the room, I've been in the bathroom, or he was turned away. Simply just, and I was like, whoop, pocket that real quick, throw it out later. So be mindful if you're hiding it as well. That's another thing. You have to make sure, like, if you're hiding it, hide it well, for one. But for two, don't. It's okay if people see it too. Like, it's normal and it happens, but being mindful that you might want to hide it is also going to tell your brain, oh, maybe I just shouldn't do that then, because, if I have to hide it from somebody. And that's what else helps? I think like having a low stress environment helps too, because the more stressful an environment, the more likely you are to relapse. Which is not fun. Just like simple things.
Okay. What would you say people could do to help the people in my life that have struggled with that or struggle currently with it?
Oh man, loaded question.
It's hard. Everyone's different, I know.
Yeah, everyone's different, but I think this is this is a hard question for me. This one, as we were talking about how I was treated in my last relationship, it is not do any of that. Don't police your loved one because they have something they can't control and they're trying their best. Because the thing is, I try so hard not to do it, because I want long hair again. And when I get married, I want to have hair down to like my shoulders, and I want to be able to put it up and be pretty. Because at the end of the day, as pretty as I may feel with short hair, there are days I feel so ugly. Because it's hard to walk around a typical world with an atypical hairstyle for a female. And so I think the most important thing to do with someone who is experiencing what I go through on a daily basis is to be there for them and to really love them. And don't just pretend like you want to help them and then start policing them around, or just not even giving a care. Like, if you see they are really struggling, first ask them if they need help, because sometimes we don't want it. Sometimes we're like, hey, we're trying to get this done ourselves, and we're trying to be big and macho here, so don't touch me. But sometimes it's nice if someone's like, do you need a hug? Can I hold your hand? Do you need help? Because sometimes
Yeah.
we do. And I think a lot of people don't realize how hard this disorder is when you're going through it. And having people who don't understand it but are willing to try is very important. Michelle is willing to try because she loves me very much. It's
Absolutely.
what having a best friend is. But then there was people in my life who weren't willing to try. And then there's a relapse because, wow, I'm all alone now all of a sudden. And no one's in my corner anymore, and I can't do it alone. Sometimes it's hard to fight it alone. So yeah, just being there for them, really loving them, like truly and deeply, and offering help if you can. If you notice they're struggling and you've noticed like they've pulled out 15 hairs in the last 30 seconds, maybe go over there and ask them if they need assistance. And don't go like, I see you're pulling. Don't do that, because that's going to come off as a little policey. Go over there and say, hey, how you doing? Just ask them a normal question and maybe change their mindset from what's going on, because that will help. When you start pulling, you get into a mindset of like pull, 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 and it's like a trance. If someone can come over and just get you out of that like state, it's a little easier.
Yeah. That makes sense. I wish I could give you a huge hug right now. I have to say, you are one of the strongest people I know. Absolutely 100%. Because one, you really don't care what people think, and you just live your life and you live it beautifully. And you have struggled with it for a while, but like even through the ups and downs and all of that, you've remained like consistent. Like you always like are trying to do better, and you're always trying to like just, I don't know how to describe it, but you persevere so well, you know what I mean? Like it's it's hard, and it's really, it just feels like it's never getting better, but then you get better. You know what I mean? Like you continue. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that I think that you're incredibly strong and incredibly brave, and I'm really lucky to know you.
Thank you.
Blessed.
Thanks. My eyes are very clean. You know, after you cry, they say it cleans your eyes. My
Yeah.
eyes were dirty. They just needed a
There you go.
clean.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so I think the last question, you kind of already answered it. But what do you wish people like knew about trichotillomania?
Oh,
I
so
don't
the
even know if I said that right.
400 trichotillomania. It's the
Yeah.
400,000 cases per year. That is a top one. Yeah, so I wish people knew how unrare it was.
Yeah.
Because people think, oh wow, that is so niche. It's not niche.
Mhm.
It's not. It's, I mean, so many people have it. There are famous actors that have trichotillomania that just have never come out and said anything.
Yeah.
But they have it. Um,
You know
I
what?
think.
I think that's exactly why we're doing the podcast, by the way, is to talk about these things, because it seems so rare, but so many people have it, and it seems atypical, but it's actually
Quite
pretty
typical.
common. Yeah, pretty
Yep.
typical. So it's cool to get like the insight to all of this behind, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And I think people need to know that we are not strange. We're not weird. And we're not unnormal. I've connected trichotillomania to alcoholism because it runs in the same realm. And people are like, that's crazy because alcoholism is a serious disorder. Okay, so it's pulling out your hair.
Yeah.
Just because we have different addictions doesn't mean we aren't addicted.
Mm-hmm.
And trichotillomania can become an OCD. So, like I said in the beginning, I hated my hair as a kid. That's why it formed. Because I had test anxiety. I hated how I looked. I was bullied just relentlessly. So everything formed around what did I hate? My hair. And it was an easy forming deal. And so I don't have test anxiety anymore. I don't take tests. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
But I still have trichotillomania. Because it evolves with you. So yeah, that's another thing. It evolves as you evolve.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows that, but it does for sure. And it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I never explained my cat ears. My lovely cat ears. Back at Ricky's, there's a solution that they use to take off the glue, and they spray it underneath, and it melts the glue and whatever. This one lady didn't do it right, and she pulled out the hair on the sides of my head with the glue.
Yeah.
And pulling out a big chunk is different than what you do with trichotillomania. And it damaged the roots of the hair right here.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point on, and Michelle's seen these in college, like they've been there. This just does not grow the same as the other sides of my hair. So like, am I like growing hair over it? Yeah. But like there's like y'all can't see it on video. There's little hairs here. And I have not pulled here in months. It's just they just don't grow anymore. Because that lady.
Rum.
It made me so mad. I was like, no.
Bad for you.
and it's bad because I do it too. I pull out my own hair. Yeah, when someone else did it, it damaged it more than I do.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can't see it on camera, actually. You can't see any of them. I have white hairs. So when you pull out so much of your hair, it damages the follicles because you're pulling out the follicle. You're not just pulling out the hair. It's the whole root of the hair is coming out. So you eventually lose pigment in some parts of your head. So I've lost pigment in some parts of my head. So I'm Anna from Frozen. I just have some white hairs. I was just shocked by Elsa. So, but yeah. You have white hairs. And this guy was talking about it. I was looking at Reddit because I look at Reddit for endometriosis and for trichotillomania especially. And he said he pulls hair from his beard and he has like a big old white patch in his beard because of, well, the consistent pulling. So it's pretty interesting. If you ever see me in person, you can ask about it. I'm not embarrassed about them. I actually kind of like them. They're actually kind of cool. So
yeah.
And I think it'll be really pretty when my hair grows out, having just a couple white ones mixed in. Like, it might be cute. So I'm excited.
It's a natural highlight.
It's a natural highlight and it's white.
Exactly.
And I'm happy it's not gray.
Mm-hmm.
If it was gray, I'd pull it out.
Oh.
I'm serious though, like. And the best part is I pluck my eyebrows, right? Because like I do my eyebrows myself unless I go get them waxed.
Yeah.
I pluck my eyebrows out, but it never like occurs like to Trichotillomania pluck my eyebrows. It's more just maintenance. And so it's kind of funny having the difference of like what I will pluck versus what I won't.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny.
Just a little bit.
It's like, oh, don't touch your eyebrows or eyelashes, but this hair, no break.
There you go. That's funny. Okay, well, do you want to move on to the quiz?
Yes.
All right, so for those of you who have watched our first episode, I'm learning French currently. And so we thought it would be fun for every episode to quiz Alyssa on 5 things that I've learned throughout the week in French. So we'll see how she does.
She thought it would be fun. I thought it was terrifying and said yes.
Thank you. It's really fun. I love hearing your answers because you know what? Sometimes you're close and sometimes not so much.
I'm
And
far
it's really
away.
funny.
You know what I have to think? I have to think Spanish because Italian and Spanish are very similar, and I forget, or French and Spanish are very similar. So I tend to forget that. So I'm gonna see if I can use that knowledge with me today. I'm ready. I have my notes.
I am pretty confident you're at least gonna get one of these. So
y'all heard that? One.
Yeah. 1. Also, excuse my pronunciation. I am learning. If you would like to correct me in the comments, so I'm all yours. Actually, all eyes, because I can't hear your comments. All right. So, number 1. J'habite à New York.
J'habite à. Let me type it in my notey. Is that is it I live in New York?
Correct. Yes. Good job. Actually, now I think you're gonna get 2 out of 5.
I didn't even think I was gonna get that one, guys.
Chevy can be a little confusing, but you did have, I think, a je suis or something like that last week.
I did. Je suis une femme. I am a woman.
Yeah. There you go. You're learning. That's great.
It's also in my notes.
So the next one, you actually might get this one too, now that I'm thinking about it. Je mange un croissant.
I'm spelling all these right. Sure, that's how it's spelled. Je mange what? Un croissant?
Croissant.
A croissant. Croissant. And that would be... Wow. Did you know I can't spell croissant? I hate that word. There's a whole I in it. It's like, where?
That's okay. You know what I thought? You know the Pillsbury crescent rolls? I thought those were croissants my entire life, but no, they're crescent rolls, not croissant. Just
I know.
Putting that out there.
Is it I want a croissant?
No.
Okay.
It's I'm eating a croissant.
I'm eating.
Yes. Je mange. I'm eating.
Oh, like manja.
Manja. Yeah. Okay, the next one is j'ai travaillé.
J'ai travaillé sounds like j'ai t'appelle. So would that be... Hold on, I'm going through my Italian and French music in my head. Wait, say it again.
J'ai travaillé.
So, can I have a hint?
What English word starts with trav.
So I knew it. Is it to travel?
It's not that, but it's close. Where do you travel every day?
To work? Is it work?
Yep, it
Traveling
means I
to
work.
work?
J'ai
I mean,
travaille.
I work. J'ai. How is it? Trave?
Yeah,
Trave?
Traiv. I always get this bit wrong, but I think it's Aille. So it might be IA.
Okay, and the English spelling is Trave.
I know, but the sound is the same, pretty much.
I want you all to know, except for como se va, because that is como is how in Spanish, which I didn't connect last time because I wasn't thinking Spanish in my head, and I should have been. Like I know como se dice, okay, and
Yeah,
I know a bit of Spanish, um, but I wasn't thinking that.
yeah.
I was in the French, so I just didn't. Uh,
It's spelled so weird, como se va, because como is spelled like comment in English. Like I'm commenting on
oh
someone's
wow,
post. It's really weird, but it's pronounced como.
fancy!
Yeah,
I'd get that
my
wrong.
brother. So no one come at me for this. I am simply repeating what I was told. But I was told that back in the day in France, they intentionally pronounced things differently than how they're spelt so that they could separate the class systems. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but that was what I was told. So it's very interesting. So a lot of the things that you read are pronounced completely and totally different. It's very interesting. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
This one's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds very different. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
C'est un chat.
C'est un chat.
Or c'est un chat, I should
C'est
say.
un chat. Hmm.
It doesn't have the E, so it's not un, it's un.
What versus? Trying to think the differences. I'm literally using Italian songs and French songs that I have sang back in high school, and I'm trying to remember the pronunciations and the translations so I can do this. I'm literally going through all the stops this time around. This one's just not helping though.
Yeah, I don't
This
think you're
one's
gonna get
funky.
this
I'm
one.
not gonna get this one. Yeah, I have no idea.
What's your best guess?
I don't have one. It just this one does not sound like anything to my brain. It has
Okay.
52 different things in it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a cat is the sentence. It's a cat. Um,
What?
it's spelled really, really different too.
I would not have
Like
gotten that.
set or whatever is
Mm-hmm.
C apostrophe EST.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
then shot. And
Yep.
shot is cat.
All I knew
So
was the it.
well there you go. You know what? You had more than I did. Actually no, I knew
I I knew it because sit is said in La Vie en Rose, and it's
Mhm.
actually La Vie en Rose. And it's
Oh.
yeah, but it's La Vie en Rose English.
Yeah.
If the spelling is literally Rose, but
Yeah.
Rosa because
It sounds like almost Leviosa from Harry Potter.
right. I'm just casting spells out
Leviosa.
here.
It's not
Yeah.
Leviosa.
So
I don't remember. But anyways,
No, you're
okay,
right.
the last one is, oh, and I always do this one wrong. It's au revoir. Au revoir?
Au
Au
revoir.
revoir.
Au
Au
revoir.
revoir. That's the one.
Au revoir
You know this
means
one.
goodbye.
Yeah, there you go. Good job.
Oh, I don't know how to spell that. Ooh, that looks like I'm spelling something in Hebrew.
Do you need help?
Please.
It's AU and then a space REVOIR.
Yes, that is how it's spelled. Thank you. I do remember that. I just
Yeah.
did not for a minute there.
Yeah.
So,
No, I get you.
so a bientôt is see you soon, and then you have au revoir, which is goodbye.
Goodbye.
Got it.
Yep.
I'm
You
learning
also can do
things.
salut, which is hi or goodbye in casual. So
Oh,
now
I
you have
forgot that.
all kinds of ways to say bye.
That's true. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
I started my Duolingo because of you. I started back up, so I'm in streak day 3 in
We're
my
following
Spanish.
each other now.
We
I'm so
are.
excited.
I'm in my Spanish course. I'm on day 3, and I'm on
Mm-hmm.
section 2, unit 1, because I got through the first section. Y'all don't realize how long I've had Duolingo. It's been a long time, and that's how long it took me to get through section 1, just because they didn't want to do it all. Because I didn't know you could skip if you knew a section. You could just go and take a little quiz, and if you get the quiz area right, it skips you on. So once I figured that out, I think like 2 months ago, I went and completed section 1.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, boop, 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 boop. Because I just did the quick tests. Because I was like, I know this. I took a lot of Spanish class in high school. So it was like the easy stuff. So now we're getting to like the conjugation stuff, which I still remember. Oh, as, a, amos, as, a. I still remember that. And nosotros and vosotros, even though vosotros is not used much because it's just not used much. So like I still remember some things, but now we're kind of getting there, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Until I read section 3, and it's learn more foundational concepts and sentences for basic conversations. So I'm like, I don't even know if they're going to go over it in this section. Well, it looks like it. Pronouns are at the very end, but like, shouldn't I learn that stuff first before I just learn like random words like camiseta in, marron and all of this other stuff? Like, great. I know gris, I know gray, marron, I know brown, I know camiseta, which is like a shirt. Like, great, I know that stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's weirdly laid out for all the different languages because it's very different for everyone. My brother's learning Japanese, and he's learned 2 different alphabets right at this point, and then like 100 words. But it's like different words that I'm learning. I've learned 0 alphabets because it's close to English, the alphabet.
mm-hmm.
But the words that I'm learning, I can say that I'm taking a car to the airport to go to Italy, and like it's such a extensive sentence there, right? But I just learned in section 3 how to say please. S'il vous plaît.
You're in section 3 and you just learned how to say please.
Yeah. So it's very weird.
Like, I like Duolingo the best out of all of the apps I've used to learn Spanish because it's easier, I guess.
Yeah.
And it makes a little more sense than the other ones because the other ones still didn't do it right either. But I'm like, come on. Like, okay, I know all of my colors now.
Yeah.
I know all of my pants. Like, can I know how to say things now? I know how to say I live in Spain. Yo vivo en España. Okay? Period. But I don't. But I know how to say it. Okay? But my boyfriend's mom speaks English, so I'm not worried about meeting her or anything. In fact, she sounds lovely. I would love to. And I don't have to know Spanish for her. if I could go up to her and instead of being like, is your shirt gray? I could say like, how was your day? That would be nice.
That would be helpful.
Just because like it is important to me because of where he's from that I learn Spanish. Because I want to have that ability to conversate with his family, even though a good amount of his family, I'm sure, speaks English. Like, for at least the people I know about speak English. But I'm sure there's people in his family that are still living where they're from and don't speak English. And I would love to be able to conversate with them. But Duolingo's taking a minute to get me there.
Just a little bit.
Because can I read it now? Sure, I can read Spanish, but if you're like, say this in Spanish, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
So.
It also is very limited on how many words it has. So, like, for French, I think it said it had something like 5,000 words-ish. Might be 4, might be 6, I don't know, somewhere in there. But an educated person in any given language usually has about 20,000 words at their expense. And there's 500,000, I think, or 400,000 words in the French language. So that's very little. I am going to be the uneducated person visiting France. They'll take it easy on me.
Yeah. Yeah. If I ever go anywhere, I'm just gonna bring my boyfriend along and be like, you have to translate, I only know 100 words. Like, you just have to translate for me. I'm gonna... Sorry.
Yeah. You can talk to the waiters, you can talk to all of them. I'll sit and look pretty. I'll understand them. David and I were talking about, he's my brother, by the way. We were talking about how there's like a block when you're learning a language where you take it in, you mash it up with the correct words so you're understanding it, and then you have to figure out which words to say back. So it's like there's a pause.
Mm-hmm.
You know how people, like Gen Z says that there's a millennial pause when you start a video? There's a foreign language pause when you're learning a foreign language.
Yeah, we'll end it here. There definitely will be a little bit of editing here. We had a long episode, so some things are going to get shortened.
But for all those who's listening, our podcast will be available on Spotify and soon to be YouTube. And you can also follow us on Instagram. And we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.